had the good fortune to do Ernie Pyle's voice in the Beyond All Boundaries movie that plays at the National WWII Museum. And I just wanted to pay my respects here and come by. He did some significant reporting, and he kept writing until he was killed on Okinawa in 1945. I'd like to share some excerpts from the speeches of President Harry S. Truman when he announced the surrenders of Germany and Japan. This is a solemn
but glorious hour.
4 years ago, the thoughts and fears of the whole civilized world were centered on another piece of American soil, Pearl Harbor. The mighty threat to civilization which began there is now laid at rest.
What a day that must have been, after nearly 4 of the longest and most devastating years in human history for President Truman to finally announce the war's end. And what a day it must have been for you, all the heroes of World War II we are honored to be in the presence of tonight.
Welcome to our send-off ceremony here for this Gary Sinise Foundation Soaring Valor flight.
How are you, sir?
Glad you could make it.
Me too.
This is a great day for American Airlines because we have the privilege to fly heroes to the National WWII Museum.
So this is a big day for me. This is kind of like throwing an old frog back in the pond.
It's often said that patriotism is not about what you say, think, or feel, it's about what you do. What we're doing today speaks volumes as we partner with Soaring Valor, Gary Sinise, and all these great patriots here to go to the National WWII Museum.
Helen, I'm Gary. It's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's an extreme pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I saw the movie.
Forrest Gump?
We get the privilege to fly a generation that saved the world to a place built in your honor.
We've done 4 Soaring Valor trips to the National WWII Museum here in New Orleans, and I'm telling you, it gets more and more important every time we do it.
We couldn't be more proud and pleased to be hooked up with Soaring Valor, and soaring is a good word for this because you're sitting here in the United States Freedom Pavilion, the Boeing Center.
Take a look above your head, Russell. Look at that. When you walk into the Freedom Pavilion and you look up at those airplanes and you see a B-17 hanging over your head amongst all the other airplanes that are hanging there, it's kind of awe-inspiring. My uncle was on one of these as a navigator.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, over Europe. He did 30 missions.
Oh, boy.
I never tire of seeing the look on their face as they look up and see all that.
Oh, yeah, look at that big.
Museums and memorials like this are educational pieces to teach future generations about the cost of freedom.
That's most important, is teaching the younger generation.
And when you walk along with these veterans and watch them talk about their stories,
I could wrap up my whole military career, short military career, in a few words. I was a scared 18, 19, 20-year-old kid.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, yeah, you would too.
you can see people just start gathering around and listening very closely because these are our living libraries of the history of that terrible conflict.
Oh, I carried that one on my hip for 10 years in tanks.
We were in this area when he landed.
I cleaned spark plugs and any small parts of the airplane that needed to be fixed.
Oh, does that make you sort of a Rosie the Riveter?
Yes, I was an aviation machinist mate, petty officer 3rd class. I enjoyed it and I felt like I was contributing at the time. I hope I was.
This is the first war in human history where we can document on camera the people who fought it.
Made a squad leader out of me when I was a PFC. You didn't have to be smart or brave or anything like that. You had to have 2 qualifications. You had to be alive and still walking. And I qualified in both both ways.
We're in the window right now where we need to try to preserve all these histories and certainly get as many folks down here who lived through that war as possible to see this national memorial built in their honor.
And it adds some humanity to dates and places. And through the generosity of Mr. Sinise, we're able to sponsor an additional oral historian here at the museum to gather more of these stories.
Okinawa, Iwo Jima, Saipan, Guadalcanal, I was all over the whole place. We on a LST, large slow target.
Seeing the faces of the veterans and what goes through their minds as they walk through this museum and experience stories and artifacts and things from their past, that means a lot to me.
He wants the boys to sleep buggy every night.
We had a fantastic entertainment at our dinner today. The gals were great.
He's the boogie woogie bugle by Company B.
I watch the veterans enjoy the canteen show that we have here, the Stage Door Canteen.
Now look here, Max, no cracks, we're watching. We're 3 wax and a hack, here we go. So many men, I'm in heaven. And my heart beats so that I can hardly speak.
That's what the uniform does for you.
You're handsome now, come on. And you smell nice. Cheek to cheek, thank you so much. A man has a two-face, a worrisome thing who'll leave you to sing the blues in the night. Oh, take 'em home, gals. Come on, big boy. All right, big boy.
I've been treated like I've never been treated in my life before.
Just been a great experience.
And I'm so proud to have been able to come here to this museum and see this.
It's important. It's important for the younger generation to see this.
Well, every person ought to, but especially World War II veterans, they should see it, and they can understand that we are appreciated.
To be a part of the National World War II Museum, to be so involved with veterans and to be a part of this place is very special to me.
We had a wonderful trip. It's unbelievable.
I hope they realize what all we went through to get to where we are today.